Good afternoon, kids. You know, I'm trying to get things as together as I can, but Manitowoc County just doesn't stop with the fucking surprises when it comes to this shit. And this video is on Sheriff Herman's, the latest bullshit about Sheriff Herman. And this is from USA Today. I'll leave a link for the article down below in the description, but oh my God. Okay, folks, I think we can all agree that Sheriff Herman is not the brightest crayon in the box. And why the fuck he would go, first of all, you don't say some shit on camera like if we wanted to take Stephen Avery out, we just would have killed him. And then think a PR firm was going to fix your fuck up. Would somebody please explain to Sheriff Herman how shit works? Because failing that, can we just wrap him up in a straitjacket and get his ass off to the fucking loony bin? Because what the fuck was that? Okay, so it says here that days after Making a Murderer became a hit on Netflix in December, Manitowoc County Sheriff Rob Herman realized he was on the verge of an international public relations disaster. He just fucking realized that then? Weeks after Making a Murderer was released, he barely realized then that basically this was about to blow up in his face? You're slow on the uptake, aren't you, Herman? You fucking idiot. The department was flooded with angry phone calls, hundreds of emails, and a barrage of social media posts that suggested that Herman ran a corrupt agency that continued to employ a dirty cop. Oh no, baby. No. We're not suggesting shit. We're saying it flat fucking out. Herman, here, in case anybody thinks I was merely suggesting, Herman, you run one of the dirtiest departments I have ever fucking seen, including LAPD in the mid-90s. You are worse than LAPD. You're about on par with APD. I know, I live in Burke. And the dirty cop they're talking about is Colburn. I love it. I fucking love it. I love that he's named as an actual dirty cop in an article. The first bit of truth with regards to Colburn I have seen yet. Some fellow sheriffs put Herman in touch with the National Sheriff's Association. Gee, thanks, guys, you fucking morons. You know, here's a thought. Instead of being pissed at some documentarians for putting out some truth, how about you get pissed at the fucking department for giving sheriffs and police departments as a whole the black eye that they just did? Because this is not the filmmaker's fault, kids. This is Herman's fault. This is Colburn's fault. This is Lank's fault. This is Kratz's fault. This is not the filmmaker's fault. It is not their fault that they called a spade a spade. Okay? What the fuck is this shit? Jonathan F. Thompson, the executive director of the National Sheriff's Association, immediately put Herman in touch with a handful of his best PR troubleshooters. Well, you should say your former best, because even they couldn't get a handle on him. Thompson advised Herman that the experts were well-versed in these types of situations. My ass! Well-versed? I don't think that they were fucking even close to prepared for what was going to happen. In Thompson's email to Herman, he predicted that many media outlets would focus on the following three themes in their renewed push for coverage of the 2005 Teresa Halbach murder. Avery was convicted originally because he was not the right type of guy, the wrong person from the wrong place. If Avery is a murderer, then he was almost certainly made one by the 18 years he spent in prison for a crime he did not commit. If police wanted to frame someone for a crime, it probably could have, Without having to break too much of a sweat, it wouldn't even have to be a department-wide thing. A couple of determined high-ranking officers could easily do it without too much trouble. Wrong person, bad system, and corrupt police, a recipe for inequality. Here's the thing, Thompson. You failed to mention in this email that all of that's true. You're acting like it's just been plucked out of thin air. Did you even bother looking at the evidence before you started advising Herman? Or did you just go based off of his greasy, slimy, flesh-colored mustache word? Because, frankly, that fucking mustache is suspect, and I'm pretty sure that it's the one giving him ideas. Says, frankly, there are core messages being played out today in Chicago, Milwaukee, Baltimore, and they started in Ferguson, Thompson advised Herman. This is not how law enforcement operates. We need to show why and what is done to prevent it. No, Thompson, that was a misstatement on your part, sugar. Theoretically, this is not how law enforcement operates. Unfortunately, that is exactly how Calumet County and Manitowoc County work. That is exactly how they do their jobs. Which, quite frankly, isn't a job. It's a fucking hobby they get a paycheck for. It's a chance for them to play out cops and robbers. That's what it is. The National Sheriff's Association put Herman in touch with two men with expertise in law enforcement media crisis management. Ha! Again, I don't think they had any fucking clue what they were about to deal with. They had no idea how runny and gross this shitstorm was going to be. One was Pat Royal, Public Information Officer with the National Sheriff's Association. The other was Mark Feifel, President of Off the Record Strategies in Washington, D.C. Okay, Feifel, and I'm sorry, but every time I read this name, I can't help it. I see a little tiny fucking Russian mouse trying to run through dealing with a fucking cat voiced by John Cleese. Feifel, if you want to be taken seriously as a PR specialist for police departments, here's a thought. Don't name your business off the record. It's almost guaranteed when someone says off the record that they're about to tell you some shit that's really bad. According to his LinkedIn profile, Feifel briefly worked as a communication advisor for President George W. Bush. Feifel, please take that off your resume. As a professional courtesy, take it off your resume. That's the kind of shit you don't tell anybody. That and the fucking all-male threesome you had in college. You don't tell anybody about these things. It just diminishes your credibility. And then worked in communications for the National Security Council. This just keeps getting better and better. Where Feifel led a successful communication effort to promote President's surge of the U.S. forces in Iraq. And you're toting that as a plus? Jesus, dude, I would hate to see your minuses. In retrospect, the public relations help seems to have made a difference in minimizing the backlash. This is a quote from Bob Ziegelbauer. Folks, just a little piece of advice. If your last name is Ziegelbauer, Ziegelbauer or Feifel, legally change your last name. You're just making an even bigger joke of yourself. This is from Bob Ziegelbauer, who is the Manitowoc County executive who basically like handles all the funds and shit. And he seems to think that the public relations help seems to have made a difference in terms of minimizing the backlash. Apparently, you haven't been paying attention to social media, you dumbass. No, it didn't minimize shit. I would say, he says, and I quote, that Herman has gotten better Did you watch Dr. Phil Ziegelbauer? It has died down quite a bit outside the area and nationally. Closer to home, it has pretty much died down a couple of months ago. Again, you really aren't paying attention, are you? Dory from Finding Nemo has more brains than you do. And this is what I love. They're talking about how Herman has recently started writing back to his critics, trying to bring them over to his side. This is great. You're going to love this shit, kids. I have recently watched the Netflix movie Rob Herman answered to one of his critics. This film left out very important details and in several areas has editing that twists the real facts. It is definitely taken from the defense point of view. While you may not believe it, I believe that the facts are deliberately being twisted by the defense and justice was served in the Halbach murder. Okay, let's get started. First of all, what the fuck is with these assholes saying repeatedly, over and over again, that the documentary left out a lot of evidence? Okay, fine. Yeah, guess what? The filmmakers even admit that they left out evidence from both sides. But here's the thing. When you ask anybody from the prosecution or law enforcement side of the debate for proof, fine. What evidence did they leave out? They always mention the same shit. The cat. Always the fucking cat. The cat happened well over 20 years ago, kids. It has no bearing on the fucking case. The bullet found in his garage. Again, if you're going to cite evidence, here's a thought. Why not cite evidence that has no direct connection to the two dirty motherfucking cops and has been called into question as being planted? What other evidence do you have that has no connection to Lincoln Colburn having found it? What? Huh? Herman? What do you have? That's right. You've got shit. You've got nothing. And let me tell you something, Herman. You're saying here the film left out very important details. Well, guess what? Those details have been filled in by the fucking case file. The case file has been released. And we have gone through every inch of that case file. Myself, my staff, as well as millions of people around the fucking world have gone through that case file over and over and over again. And not a fucking shred of it is shit that we didn't hear of, number one. And some of the stuff that we didn't hear of goes directly against you. So I say again, where's your proof? You give me evidence that has no association with Lincoln Colburn having found it, we'll talk. I'd be happy to hear what you have to say at that point. But until you can produce such evidence, I call bullshit. I call massive
bullshit level DEFCON 5.
Since January, Herman has exchanged numerous emails with HLN's Christo Tausciani, associate producer of Nancy Grace, to help the sheriff's department regain credibility on a national stage. Well, that was the wrong move, Herman, because guess what? Nobody with even 2 brain cells to rub together watches Nancy Grace and takes her seriously. No one. You want to know why? Because she's a fucking joke. She's an even bigger joke than you are, if you can believe it. No one takes her seriously. Why? Well, gee, let's see. Maybe it could be because she was removed as prosecutor for doing basically the same shit Kratz did. Maybe it's the fact that she is the rudest bitch on the planet. Or maybe it's the fact that she actually doesn't have a brain left. It's all just hair bleach up there now. Following the media crisis coaching, Herman also developed an email rapport with Wisconsin journalist Jessica McBride. You're really working hard at taking away what few points you've got left in your favor, aren't you, Herman? Jessica McBride is probably the biggest dingbat I've ever seen. And the only reason why that piece of shit has any kind of a writing career is because she knows just how to blow her favorite sheriff of the week. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not taking a crime writer seriously who has recently been caught having a sexual relationship with a sheriff in her area. That's the only reason she's got any kind of a career. Sheriff Herman tells her, very nice article. You certainly were busy doing your homework. You didn't do your homework, McBride. You fucking read the trial transcripts, which is nothing in this case. McBride then tells him it would take a month to properly review the whole case file. A month? A month? Bitch! I've been reviewing this case file for the last 5 months. Well, 4 months. And I still haven't gone through the whole thing. So, you're an idiot and you need to just go back to the strip club and put that mouth to better use than what it's doing now. Besides Nancy Grace in the Milwaukee publication, Herman greatly benefited from favorable airtime on the Fox News channel. Do you people not understand? Nancy Grace, Jessica McBride, Fox News, you are going for every Republican right-wing bullshit outlet. The next thing you know, you're going to have Donald Trump fucking endorsing your stupid ass. For fuck's sake, knock it off. The sheriff has restricted others at his department from doing media interviews. That was probably the only smart thing you've done, because the only person in your department dumber than you would be Colbert. He keeps writing people emails like he's got any authority to say anything to anybody. Let's see. Including several employees who received special recognition letters for their personal files, praising them for their work on the Avery salvage yard, leading to Avery's November 2005 arrest. The honorees included Lieutenant Link, Sergeant Colburn, Detective Remaker, and the sheriff's younger brother, Lieutenant Todd Herman. The 3 detectives were instrumental in helping sift for evidence to tie Avery to the homicide, while the sheriff's younger brother helped operate the command center post at the Avery salvage yard. Yeah, that's not fucking suspicious at all. My God, you guys are stupid, and what's worse is you think the American public is as stupid as you are. A number of national shows, including CNN and the Fox News Channel, reached out to Colburn directly for an interview. Luckily, Colburn's prevented from actually talking to them, so we're at least spared his stupidity. Now, if somebody could just gag Kratz, that'd be great. Colburn testified he was a past salvage yard customer, giving him familiarity with the property. Bullshit. I want receipts. Hey, Earl, Chuck, would you mind producing receipts that show that Colburn was a past salvage yard customer of yours? Maybe we can put that bullshit to rest. On November 6th, the volunteer firefighters, not professionally trained crime lab technicians, conducted an unsuccessful evidence search of the roughly 4,000 junked vehicles scattered across the Avery property. The very next morning, Link and Colburn went back into the Avery salvage yard to check a number of junk vehicles that were apparently missed. Then the following day, November 8th, William Brandis Jr., a brilliant volunteer firefighter, recovered both of Hallbach's license plates from inside the back seat of a junked station wagon. And nobody sees anything suspicious with any of this shit. Folks, here's the long and the short of it. After making a murderer broke, Sheriff Herman hired a PR firm and then proceeded to smear his stupidity as far and wide as he possibly fucking could. And all he did was waste everybody's time. Him and his fucking creepy ass flesh-colored mustache. the PR firm didn't do its job because nobody is buying this bullshit. Not a single fucking person. So, sorry, Herman, but all you effectively did was blow yourself. That's it. That's it, kids. All right. I have got some interesting stuff coming up for y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Mama Phoenix 6. You can also follow us, Clue TV, on Twitter at Clue TV Official. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. You can find me, Casey Martinez, aka Mama Phoenix. And you can also look up Clue TV Official on Facebook as well. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you soon.